You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back. Now, I think we got some sound. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, it's Hattie, and you're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We're not going to be long tonight. I had a special guest that was set up for tonight, but unfortunately, he's under the weather. So that was the entire show. We're going to bring him back next week on next week's show, but I'm glad that you came out to Ladies in the Locker Room. So let's get started. Well, as you all know, football, it was firing week for the NFL. I call it firing week because at the end of the season, teams just get, it's like, okay, let's get rid of everybody. Let's just get rid of everybody. And I think that's what a lot of teams did. Um, of course, I'm a fan of the game. So I watch different teams all around the league. I watch different players all around the league. And it's hard for me to really root for one team. So I don't. I root for, uh, I root for talent. Atlanta, I'm gonna start with Atlanta. Atlanta showed a lot of great talent this year. Bijan, I love Bijan. Bijan Robinson, I think he did a fantastic job. Blake London, a lot of those guys to me are coming around. They showed a lot of promise this year, but as you all know, you know what happened. First one to go, it, the first one to go. Breaking news: head coach Raheem Morris was fired. So you tell me, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think Raheem should have been fired? Because I don't think so. I think that he came to a poor losing team and they expected miracles in 2 years. That's what I think. But I think in 2 years, he's turning the team around. I know owners want instant gratification, but some owners get it. They're like, I'm not letting my coach go and go to another team and coach them to a Super Bowl because he's not a bad coach. I don't think Raheem was a bad coach. Some people do. I don't know. I did not. I think he did need more time. And then I heard somebody say, well, if he was a little bit more explosive, like the Steelers head coach, I ain't never seen the Steelers head coach be explosive. So I don't even know what you're talking about there. He's probably one of the most reserved coaches I've seen. Yeah, he gets excited every now and then, but explosive, I wouldn't go that far. So Raheem went, and they kind of cleaned house at the Falcons. They got rid of a lot of the front office, and there's rumors, or maybe it's already inked. I don't know. They're bringing Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, bringing him back to the front office. Uh, Not the coach. So that's what somebody said. No, he's not coming back as a coach. He's coming back as a suit up there with the vice presidents and all of that. But they're bringing Matty Ice back because, I mean, they always said he was part of the family and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he's really part of the family or not, but he always had a lot of love from Arthur Blank and the family. So I'm told that Matt Ryan will be coming back and working in the front office. We'll see what happens. Uh, Another big one, parting ways. The Cardinals. Cardinals. That's what a lady I know used to call them, not the Cardinals. The Cardinals. They part ways with head coach Jonathan Gannon. The Cardinals. See, now she got me saying it. The Cardinals' record was pretty bad. I have to say it. It was pretty bad, and and he's a young coach, and I just think he has a future. But I'm not that angry about that. But he was another one that they got rid of, and like I said, it was a firing frenzy going on around here. My Raiders. I mean, I started out with the black and silver, and they part ways with head coach Pete Carroll. Now, some teams they started getting rid of coaches, like the New York Giants. They didn't even wait till the end of the season. They've been already got rid of their coach back in October, November. So, and a few teams did that, but a few teams at least gave him to the end of the season, as did the Falcons with Raheem. And like I said, I really, I didn't agree with that firing specifically with Raheem. I think that the team is starting to look explosive and exciting. It had not been looking explosive and exciting for a while. And I think this year Bijan really did that for him. Drake London did that for him. Um, they have a few players that really made the game interesting and exciting. I don't think the coach teaches interesting and exciting. Now, he may not have made always the best calls in the world, but I don't think no coach does. But I think that they needed to let him play this out at least another 2 years. And then if you watched all the games, they didn't always lose horribly. They were winning a lot of the games, and then at the end of the game, they started losing. Is that the head coach or is that the defensive coordinator? I mean, I'm not sure whose that is, but that's what happened. But they let him go, and now they're just back to the drawing board. But let me tell you, in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys ended up 11-5. Philadelphia Eagles, which that's another team I watched a lot because I love Saquon Barkley. I love Jalen. They ended up 11-5 so far. New York Giants 5-11. Now they fired the coach and they still lost. So I'm not sure if it even helped. They still ended up 5-11. Washington Commanders, I really thought that they were going to do better. 4-12. Uh, New Orleans Saints 8-8. Atlanta, of course, 7-9. Carolina 2-14. And down there in Florida, 8-8. That other Florida team, not the Miami Dolphins. Tom Brady's old team. They were 8-8. Detroit came back. Now it's been a long time since the Barry Sanders days, since Detroit really looked as strong as they looked. But they came out 11-5. Green Bay 8-8. Minnesota Vikings 7-9. Chicago was looking pretty strong. They still ended up 7-9 so far. San Francisco 49ers, that's another one, another strong team from back in the day, 12-4. The LA Chargers 9-7. Seattle Seahawks 8-8. And the Arizona again 4-12. That's how their standings are right now. We're going into the playoffs starting this week, and we're going to see what's going to happen. What are your predictions? Who do you think is going to win this year's Super Bowl? Who is going? That's what I want to know. Who do you think is going? Now, of course, we wanted to see Lamar Jackson up there. He didn't make it. We wanted to see a lot of other players from all the divisions, but they didn't make it. Lamar would have been one. Let me see who else is on here that I missed. Um, yeah, definitely Lamar. I think, but he got hurt this year, so he wasn't even in for the whole season. But we'll see. Dallas, I know a lot of people. Them some diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. How about them Cowboys? But I love that. I'd rather a diehard fan than a fan that's ready to throw the whole team under the bus because they're just not great enough. They're not good enough. I would rather a diehard fan because if you stay with the team, they'll come around, which is how I feel about the Falcons and why I think that they should let Raheem stick around. But now you don't know what you're going to get, or who you're going to get, or what they're going to be able to bring to the table. But that's what you wanted, and that's what you got. So that's what's going on in the NFL. We're going to see who's going to end up in the playoffs. Well, we know the playoff picture is rounded up right now, but we want to see who's actually going to the Super Bowl. I need to hear your predictions. So if you got some predictions, send them to me. Ladies in the locker room at gmail.com. That's ladies, Ladies, the THE locker room at gmail.com. Send me your predictions. I want to know, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl and who do you think is going to win? And I would say probably expect some more firings. and hirings because the way the standings look on some of these other teams, the Jets, whoo, like I said, Lamar, they a lot of teams just did not um, didn't turn out really well for lots and lots and lots of people. Um, so we'll see what happens. I do, like I said, the AFC, the NFC champions, they have those guys all situated, but what they don't have is who's going to the Super Bowl. That's what I want to know. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Stay tuned, the ladies in the locker room. We'll be back again next week. Hopefully, my special guests will be back and be ready, and we'll find out who's going on to the next round. And then we're going to talk about a lot more college next week as well, and some other facts in sports. Again, it's your girl, it's Hattie. Ladies in the locker room. See you next time. All right, we're going to take it on home. Mhm. Mhm. You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back.